Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use.
After the deaths of Tupac and Biggie, many assumed that the era of raw, gritty gangster rap was over. But in the late 90s, DMX burst onto the scene, bringing a new edge to the genre.
Gon' give it to ya, he gon' give it to ya, X gon' give it to ya, he gon' give it to ya. Make me lose my mind, up in here, up in here. Drop, shut 'em down, open up shop. Oh.
Most of DMX's tracks are packed with raw anger and aggression, emotions that plagued him throughout his life. As a child, he endured brutal beatings from his own mother, and by age 14, he found himself in juvie. It was there that he tried weed and crack for the first time and was introduced to theft and a life of crime. These early traumas severely impacted his mental health. To truly understand DMX's heartbreaking journey, we have to start from the beginning. Born Earl Simmons on December 18, 1970, in Mount Vernon, New York, he was the second child in his family. His mother already had a 2-year-old daughter when he was born. Earl frequently fell ill as a child, inheriting allergies from his mother and asthma from his father. On top of this, he was hit by a car at a young age. Although he escaped with just a scratch, the driver, who ran a red light while drunk, left a mark on his early experiences. The insurance company offered $10,000 in compensation, but his mother refused, citing their Jehovah's Witness faith. Earl was a bright student with a knack for learning, but his mother showed little interest in his achievements. Whenever he excitedly tried to share something he had learned, she would coldly send him to his room, often entertaining adult men during these moments. This lack of emotional support set the stage for the pain that would fuel his music.
You never got to have that mommy experience.
No, and she never, not once, she ever told me that she loved me.
The lack of attention from DMX's mother drove him to the streets. He began sneaking out late without permission, often skipping school and engaging in petty theft at local supermarkets. This behavior only deepened the rift between him and his mother. Eventually, she decided the only way to control her disobedient son was through harsh physical punishment. She beat him brutally using extension cords, hangers, brooms, and sticks. When this didn't work, she resorted to locking him inside the house, forbidding him from going outside or socializing with local children. His only companions were the homeless kids in the neighborhood, while the only place he found comfort was at his grandmother's house on his father's side. His grandmother welcomed him with open arms, offering love and allowing him the freedom to walk outside. In her home, Earl experienced genuine affection. However, the relentless physical abuse and isolation at home had already taken a toll on his young mind, causing him to lash out aggressively at school, throwing chairs at classmates and verbally attacking teachers. Eventually, social services intervened, determining that his mother was incapable of handling him, and Earl was sent to a boarding school. Over the course of 18 months, he became one of the brightest students there, formed friendships, and even earned some money. However, his struggles continued. In one incident, Earl and another student accidentally burned down a building while playing around. While his friend avoided consequences, Earl was blamed for arson and isolated from the rest of the students, banned from common areas, including the dining hall. After his time at the boarding school, DMX attempted to enroll in a school for high achievers in a wealthy area, but he was quickly transferred to homeschooling. His mother's physical abuse persisted, and often Earl couldn't even understand the reason behind the beatings. As he grew older and stronger, he started defending himself, but his mother then resorted to beating him while he slept. These violent episodes would escalate to the point where Earl would be left choking and begging for mercy, only to suffer severe asthma attacks that led his mother to drive him to the hospital. It was during these moments that Earl began fantasizing about killing his mother. He concocted various plans, but in the end, he couldn't follow through. Despite everything, he realized that no matter what she did, a part of him still loved her. His father, meanwhile, was a homeless man who barely made ends meet by selling his paintings. Though they met up from time to time, his father eventually disappeared from his life, driving DMX back to the streets where his struggles only deepened.
Even though he wasn't there, I don't really know him, but I know enough to know that he didn't raise me.
Is that disappointing?
Nope. And when I first met, I was mad. You know, I had and in a calm voice explained it. I was homeless.
DMX started bringing stray dogs home, which his mother disliked, so he hid them on the roof and slept beside them. He cherished the loyalty of the dogs, finding comfort in their presence. They gave him a sense of security on the streets.
A dog doesn't know how to lie to you. A dog doesn't know how to be fake. It is what it is.
His mother then took him to the Children's Village shelter under the guise of a tour and left him there. 6 months later, when the holidays arrived, DMX expected to be taken home like the other kids, but his mother called the shelter and told them he shouldn't come back. He became the only child left behind during the holidays, and the anger and resentment he felt towards his mother only deepened. While this abandonment was painful, it was at the shelter where he first got introduced to hip-hop. He began composing rhymes and experimenting with beatboxing, eventually adopting the name DMX, after one of the most popular drum machines of the time. After 18 months of good behavior, DMX was allowed to leave the shelter and return home. Though he despised it and preferred sleeping on the streets or in garbage cans. During this time, he found a new dog, Blackie, whom he rescued from a landfill. He attended a middle school in Yonkers, notorious for its bad reputation. After only a month there, DMX realized that poverty was inescapable. Good grades didn't offer any advantages, and his mother couldn't support him. This pushed him into theft. His first robbery was a woman leaving a supermarket in Yonkers. He jumped from the bushes, snatched her purse, and ran off, netting $1,000. He spent the money on a new leather collar and harness for Blackie and bought himself a pair of Timberlands. Soon, he was robbing people regularly, and as his appetite for cash grew, he began targeting local drug dealers. He would wait until the end of their workday, then rob them of their earnings. Robbery became a daily occurrence, with DMX hitting his targets 3 times a day. Eventually, he found like-minded individuals at school, making the crimes easier. Around this time, DMX was introduced to drugs by Reddy Ron, a local rapper who became his mentor. At just 14, he tried weed and crack for the first time, a decision that would later haunt him. In 1986, tragedy struck when his beloved dog Blackie was shot and killed by police, and DMX ended up in juvenile detention for 2 years. He didn't stay long, as he escaped and sought refuge with his grandmother. But only a few days after his return, his mother showed up with the police, insisting that her son be held accountable and sent back to jail. After serving his sentence, DMX developed a new interest stealing cars. During one of his joyrides in the Hamptons, he was pulled over by the cops and landed in the Suffolk County Correctional Facility. After his release, DMX dedicated himself to music, recording and selling mixtapes to launch his rap career.
Home of the brave, suckers acting like they want it, ends up in the grave.
Say what?
I'm DMX, but my name ain't Dave. Step to my title and I crash a wave. Building number 80, where I LIVE come through on the late night tip and you can see me.
In 1992, Columbia Records signed DMX to Rough House Records, where he released his debut single, Born Loser.
Their mothers don't want them to know me. My sisters used to like me, but now they call me homie. I used to have a family, now I'm out on my own.
Columbia Records didn't work out for DMX, as he felt sidelined while funds were directed toward promoting acts like Criss Cross.
And get a hungry crew, niggas that ain't never had, and doing bad, will be glad to get up off they stoop, looking sad.
Suge Knight and Puff Daddy both showed interest in DMX. But by the time Puff changed his mind, DMX had already signed with Def Jam. 1998 was a breakthrough year for him, beginning with the single Get At Me Dog.
Niggas wanna kill us, get at me, dog. Yeah, niggas want the ring, get at me, dog. Yeah.
In May 1998, DMX's debut album, It's Dark and Hell Is Hot, topped the Billboard charts.
Drop, shut 'em down, open up shop. Oh, you're chicken with the chicken, wondering if I'm a creeper. Little hood rap from 25th named Tamika coming through.
Later that year, DMX released his second album, Flesh of My Flesh, Blood of My Blood, which went 4 times platinum, sold 670,000 copies in its first week, and debuted at #1 on the Billboard charts.
Hey, yo, I'm slipping, I'm falling, I can't get up. Hey, yo, I'm slipping, I'm falling, I got to get up. I got blood on my hands and there's no remorse. I got blood on my dick cause I fucked the boss. I'm a nasty nigga.
DMX is incredibly charismatic.
Issues with the industry. What's going down with the industry, dog?
The industry is full of a bunch of dick-sucking, dick-riding, bending over the desk ass niggas, straight up like that. Whoever don't like it, bring it, nigga. Bring it. I don't give a fuck. Bring it. Bring it. Chillin', thug out niggas, you know what I'm saying? What up? You know, no smiles, no... There's nothing to smile about, nothing to laugh about. Niggas is hungry, for real.
It's no surprise that DMX's charisma led him to roles in films like Belly, Romeo Must Die, and Exit Wounds.
Say sorry, because you hurt my feelings. My baby.
Daddy, I knew you'd find me.
I'm so glad the angels kept you safe. Another one.
Dog, I meet women, discreet women, street women, slash, Cocoa Puff, sweet women. Oh, make me lose my mind. Up in here, up in here.
He went on to release 2 more successful albums, The Great Depression and Grand Champ. He went on to release 2 more successful albums, The Great Depression and Grand Champ.
Miss you when it ain't been the same. I drop a tear when I hear your name. Mariella Holloway.
Who's the winner? Where my dogs at? DMX! Why DMX?
Even as DMX achieved global fame and earned millions, his criminal habits persisted, worsening his life and career. Throughout his music career, he grappled with legal and health issues. Between 2000 and 2001, DMX served time for marijuana possession, driving without a license, and assaulting prison guards by throwing objects. In 2002, after a failed rehab attempt, he pleaded guilty to 13 counts of animal cruelty, 2 counts of maintaining a nuisance, and additional charges of disorderly conduct and drug possession. Following his release, he faced fines, community service, and starred in public service announcements against gun violence and animal abuse. In 2004, DMX faced multiple legal issues, including arrests for cocaine possession, criminal impersonation, drug possession, criminal mischief, menacing, and DUI. During this period, he falsely claimed to be a federal agent to carjack a vehicle. By the end of the year, he was given a conditional discharge, but continued to face legal troubles. On October 25, 2005, DMX was sentenced to 70 days in jail for violating parole. These ongoing legal and personal problems took a significant toll on his career. His album Year of the Dog, again, was released under these strained circumstances and sold only 125,000 copies in its first week, marking the first time one of his albums did not debut at #1 on the Billboard charts.
You know what I'm gonna find? It's all in time. Show me how to teach the mind. Show me how to y'all niggas are sloppy. What would the game be without me? Nada. Cats talking.
As DMX's popularity began to wane, fans grew disillusioned with their idol. In 2008, he was again charged with drug possession and animal cruelty after barricading himself in his Arizona home. By the end of the year, he pleaded guilty to drug possession, theft, and animal cruelty, leading to a 90-day prison sentence. On May 22, 2009, he reached a plea agreement for attempted aggravated assault. The following year, he served 4 months for probation violations but was released on July 6, 2010. After his release, he was offered a TV pilot to document his recovery, but filming was cut short when he was arrested 3 weeks later. On July 27, 2010, he turned himself in for reckless driving committed in 2002, serving another 90 days in prison. Soon after, DMX was arrested once more for violating probation due to alcohol consumption at a concert. This led to a 7-month stint in the mental health unit of Arizona State Prison, where he faced significant personal and emotional challenges. After his release, DMX returned to his music career in 2012 with the album Undisputed. Unfortunately, the album's performance was disappointing, selling only 17,000 copies in its first week and debuting at a lowly number 19 on the Billboard charts.
Against the grain, the swag is reckless. Since 12, smack it, grab his necklace, and don't respect it. The dancing, they got this move to the beat. Sit there, nod my head, but won't move my feet. Gangsters.
That's it. What's the thing though? You're supposed to move around a little thing. What's this?
No, this is the last.
Like many struggling with addiction, DMX experienced cycles of recovery and relapse. In 2011, he managed a period of sobriety, crediting his children with motivating him to stay clean. Unfortunately, this sobriety was short-lived, and his battle with substance abuse continued. In 2016, DMX's addiction worsened when he was found unconscious from an overdose outside a New York hotel. Police arrived to find him not breathing, and medics administered Narcan, an emergency medication for opioid overdoses. DMX regained partial consciousness and was rushed to the hospital for treatment. In 2018, as DMX faced trial for 14 counts of tax fraud, his struggles with addiction resurfaced. After leaving a court-ordered addiction treatment program, he relapsed on cocaine and oxycodone. This relapse led the judge to order his immediate incarceration while awaiting trial. Despite the setback, DMX proceeded to plead guilty to all charges. Consequently, he was sentenced to 1 year in prison, followed by 3 years of supervised release. The ongoing legal and personal battles continued to impact his life and career significantly.
Right at home in the dirt and trenches, the first business, the first seconds, like when I roll with the worst of business, since the slaughter, he go with doing everybody got.
The rapper was ordered to pay $2.3 million in restitution to the government and to enroll in another outpatient addiction treatment program upon his release. Despite his declining appearance and ongoing struggles, DMX's energy in live performances remained as powerful as ever, leaving even Snoop Dogg astonished.
Shit,
That was that one.
that was the one me and my niggas go crazy for.
That was
nigga.
that one.
He took her home and stole out of her bag.
Right.
That's the G shit right there. Go
That
in
was
her
that one.
bag, purse first, ass last.
A $1 AP Rocky and Skepta's Praise the Lord was inspired by DMX's Who We Be.
I saw, I came, I saw, I praise the Lord, and break the law. The hugs, the love, the slugs, the funerals, the wakes, the churches, the coffins, the heart.
In October 2019, the singer announced on social media that he was canceling his upcoming concerts to return to rehab.
If I was to drop it right now, my last thought would be, I've had a good life.
On April 9th, 2021, DMX died from a cocaine-induced heart attack, which led to severe circulatory problems in his brain. Analysis of his urine confirmed the presence of cocaine. The medical examiner's office, relying on documentation from medical professionals and police, decided against performing an autopsy. According to the source, emergency help was called at 10:03 p.m. on April 2nd. Paramedics were dispatched immediately and arrived at the scene at 10:09 p.m., beginning resuscitation efforts by 10:10 p.m. Despite briefly reviving his heart and pulse, DMX's brain was already deceased by the time he reached the hospital. His posthumous album, Exodus, was released later and received favorable reviews from critics.
Around here, nigga, we grown. zone. Start applying pressure, give a dog a bone. I'm taking half. It's my dog, yeah. That's my dog, yeah. That's my dog, yeah. That's my dog, yeah.
This was the story of DMX. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and be sure to check out our next video about Crisscross. Bye for now.